821-12682. Offices in Baton Rouge. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours, on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening and welcome to the Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, our cast of thousands behind the scenes. Skip Cottrell, Taylor Sharp, Ryan Kennedy producing the program, Charlie gathering scores, and you tuning in. Get your scores, report your scores at Louisiana Prep on Twitter, You'll be hearing scores throughout the night. For a full scoreboard, that's where you're going to watch your view, or the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. That ticker on the bottom of the screen is where you're going to get a full scoreboard from Week 5 from all scores around the state. We'll start first tonight with the game you saw on your view, that being Denham Springs on the road, taking their undefeated record to St. Thomas More. Coach Jim Hightower and the Cougars getting the job done tonight, Jimmy, 42-21. A game that STM had control. Denham Springs made a little bit of a comeback, but came up a little bit short.
Right. I thought this was a good test for Denham Springs. Win, lose, or draw, I think they learned a lot about their team. 4-0 start, but the teams they had played was not very good. Their strength of schedule was really weak. I think their opponents were like 4-12 combined coming in. Coach Beard made a couple decisions at quarterback tonight. He started sophomore Jerry Horn instead of Reese Mooney, the senior who's committed to Liberty. They played without running back Ray McNeely. Had a STM open the game with a quick drive, scored 11-play drive, 71 yards. Denham Springs answered right back with a 15-play drive, 74 yards, ate up 10 minutes, 40 seconds. Everything was going perfect at that point, and STM scored within 2 minutes on 3 consecutive possessions, went up 28-7. Denham Springs made a game of it in the second half. They didn't quit. They opened up with a 10-play, 91-yard drive. They onside kicked it, recovered it, got a 5-yard touchdown run by Kelly on that drive, made it 28-21 with 11 seconds left in the third quarter. STM gets the ball right after that, fumbles the first play. Denham Springs has a chance to tie it up, and Denham Springs turned it over on downs on about the 25-yard line, and then got a couple late scores from St. Thomas More. But St. Thomas More is a really good team. Really well coached. Sam Altman, quarterback for them, had a big night, threw the ball extremely well. Will Taylor also plays some quarterback for them. They don't miss much. It was 14-0, and they scored. STM had scored the first 2 times, and they pulled the quarterback and put in another one. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, you got 2 consecutive drives, and then they come right back, and they score again with the other quarterback. So they really didn't miss a beat. But it was good to see Coach Beard's group compete in the second half after falling down 28-7. They showed a little bit of character there. And, again, hats off for him. I don't know what the decision was based off of to sit the starting quarterback. I have no details on that, but if it was some discipline or anything like that, which I'm not speculating it is, you're starting to see a few more of that go on now. You're starting to see some coaches. Todd made reference to Dutchtown, set a couple of starters tonight for some discipline action, and I think it's well needed.
You know, in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture, one of the prevailing topics we discussed last week is things getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Players getting out of hand. And maybe it's something you got to recognize before it happens, and hats off to those coaches that are doing that. I'm not saying that I don't know what happened in Denham Springs, but if you're a coach and you're recognizing some type of issue and you kind of nip that in the bud early. But, for Denham Springs, a lot of credit to them for what they did in the second half. Because, look, you want to get to that level of what St. Thomas More is, and maybe you're not quite there yet, but you showed some fight.
I promise you Coach Beard learned more about his team tonight probably than he's learned in the first 4 games combined. And sometimes you got to play those kind of opponents to get better. You mentioned discipline and things like that. We had a case last week with McKinley Northside. McKinley was missing 22 players tonight. Northside was missing 10. You had a key ejection again tonight in the Ruston Neville game wide receiver from Ruston was ejected for excessive celebration. I didn't see it. I think Todd saw a little bit of video of it. I don't know if it was a legit call or not, but you got to learn how to act.
Well, it was a legit call, and it actually probably is why Neville went down and scored so quick. I mean,
so
that's the whole idea.
Two of them, right?
It's the whole idea is that your stupidity on the football field costs your teammates, and you can't do it. I mean, I don't care if you're going up whatever you are, and that's what happened at Ruston. They went up 27-21. I didn't see the first one. And or they went up 27-14.
Right.
Now you're kicking off from the 25.
It was probably Todd, unless he had an unsportsmanlike earlier in the game, he probably got two on that one time. And I've seen that happen before. I've seen a kid dancing in the end zone and they throw a flag. Ignore it, keep dancing, throw another flag, boom, you're gone. So I don't know if that's what happened. That's what I would think probably happened. He got two of them on the same play, but yeah, let Neville back in the game.
Did you say he played at Neville?
Yeah, and the thing was, he's at Ruston now. He's a transfer from Neville, and he had a huge night, 3 touchdowns.
And they probably threw the ball 3 times.
Well, it's hard to believe if it was dancing. We've seen Coach Todd Black dance because they would not thrown a flag. The guys from Neville can dance. I think that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been called for a bad dance.
Flag.
Let's get you caught up on scores.
No parking on the dance floor, baby.
Let's get you caught up on scores. We'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Catholic of Baton Rouge over Carver from Alabama, 42-36. Catholic Point Capee, 36. White Castle, 8. De La Salle, touchdown better than East Ascension, 20-13. And Dutchtown over GW Carver, 37-15. St. James, a 30-27 winner over Woodlawn of Baton Rouge. Episcopal comes back to defeat Ascension Catholic, 33-28. Santa Maria, a 19-7 winner over Helen Cox. And Dunham, a 28-14 winner over Southern Lab.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
St. Thomas More, 42. Denham Springs, 21. Opelousas, 56. Leesville, 20. Welsh is a 20-16 winner over Lauraville. Church Point all over Mamou, 58-6. Grand Lake, 58. East Beauregard, 30. Central Catholic shuts out Jeanerette, 40-0. Lafayette Christian, 49. Avoyelles, 28. And Iowa shuts out Kinder, 28-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Scotlandville over Rummel, 35-34. Edna Carr, 40. Brother Martin, 7. John Curtis, 32. Holy Cross, 21. Warren Easton defeated John Arrett, 69-35. Hanville and East St. John still in progress. Bogalusa, Chalmette still in progress. St. Charles defeats Vanderbilt Catholic 35-7, and Destrehan a 47-0 winner over HL Bourgeois.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Ruston defeats Neville 27-21. Mangum and Oak Grove still in progress. Union Parish 49, Franklin Parish 20. North Caddo and West Washita still in progress. Arcadia, Glenbrook, Byrd, and Benton all still in progress. Airline shuts out Natchitoches Central 46-0, and River Oaks and Dearborn Woods Charter still in progress.
The North Shore Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Kentwood defeats Amite 14-6. Covington 13, Fontainebleau 10. Slidell 13, Mandeville 10. St. Paul 28-21 winner over Hammond. McDonough 35-38. Salmon 27. North Shore 13, Ponchatoula 10. Newman and Pearl River still in progress. And Archbishop Hannon 35, St. Thomas Aquinas 6.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana Barbecue Sauce, Louisiana Molasses Mustard, Spicy and Sweet Barbecue Rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 20.
Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, Week 5 edition here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, as well as the ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel and our friends over at YourView tonight. Let's go ahead and jump on the Cardinal Financial Hotline and speak with our first victorious head coach tonight. St. James getting the win over Woodlawn. First time in a long time. Got a chance to catch up. Coach Levante Davis. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks so much for a couple minutes with us tonight.
Oh, man, thank you all. Thank you for the job that y'all do.
Hey, at least he's not in the background yelling behind Coach Valdez, right? He's a man in the
He's
forefront.
the main event now. Yeah.
Man, you had a good game tonight, huh?
Yeah, man. It was a hard-fought game on both ends. You know, Coach Randall did a good job with the guys. They have an outstanding quarterback, and we just were able to outlast the fourth quarter.
Coach, this one came down right to the very end. Actually, you scored with 16 seconds and convert a 2-point PAT to go up 30-27, but the game kind of changed. You scored 16 points in just a little bit over a minute, one of them being a pick six. Talk about that part of the game.
Yeah, we turned the ball over and we had some uncharacteristic penalties, put ourselves in a hole. They were running some trick concepts. Our guys sat back on the stop, driving on the arrow, the flood concept, and was able to make a play when we pressured their quarterback and happened to make one of those mistakes, and we capitalized off of it.
Now, the Williams guys, your running back and quarterback, are they brothers?
No.
Okay, just happened to be Caden and Braden.
Yeah.
And I figured they were twins, or at least brothers, but those two have had phenomenal years for you.
Yeah, thus far, man. But it all starts up front. Man, Woodlawn was real physical up front, so we weren't able to run the ball as we would like to. So it forced us to spread it out a little bit, and we did some things in the air tonight.
You know, Coach, looking at your schedule, you started off with a loss to East St. John, and you've seemed like you've improved every single week. And midway through the season, are you pleased where you're at?
Yeah, I'm pleased, but the uncharacteristic penalties, man. Like we had a turnover tonight, but the first drive we had 2 personal fouls, gave them 30 yards, and we will address that on Monday.
What do you need to improve on to go forward to have the type of year you're hoping to?
And we're trying to get healthy, make sure we're healthy, but most importantly, eliminate the mistakes, the penalties, and continue to believe in what we're trying to do. We have a good group of kids, good group of coaches, and I think we're on the right track, though.
Has Coach Valdez big timed you, or does he still stay in touch?
Every now and again, he reaches out. I understand. Hey, look, I understand the grind. I commend him. He was in position to make that move. God bless him.
I know. We're happy for him. I think well-deserved. But I know St. James is happy to have you and have those Wildcats back rocking and rolling. We got to get down there where we hear that horn.
Well,
absolutely.
they're lucky that they have someone like Coach Davis on staff.
Absolutely.
To step in at the time that he did, to step in and not miss a beat. He knows Coach Valdez's system. Probably, I'm sure Coach Davis made a few changes like anybody would, but for the most part, the overall program probably stayed the same.
Which made it a lot easier for the kids.
Absolutely. He didn't leave the cupboard bare, man, but we're all in the business of just developing these young men and understanding that, it's bigger than football. And if we just happen to be successful on the field, we just benefit, and that's just the rewards of it. But we just want to continue to develop these young men.
Hey, Coach, when y'all got that shrimp bowl, is that in the spring?
That's in the spring. When you bought those potatoes?
Yeah. You remember that, huh?
Absolutely.
I drove to the great town of downtown
Vassar.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful
sure
downtown
did.
Vassar.
Boy, those shrimp look good and just perfect. Oh, man. I could have some right now.
Yeah, hey, look, we had the ball. Well, actually, we did it before school this year. It was a good turnout.
Well, Coach, man, look, that's a huge win tonight. Beat a really good 5A team in Woodlawn. Good PowerPoint win. You 4 games winning streak here. Keep it going, and thank you for taking a minute of your time, and good luck the rest of the way.
Hey, man, we're going to continue to keep God first. And, again, I thank you guys for the job that y'all do for high school athletics.
Thank you, Coach.
Always great talking to Coach.
Always great talking to Coach Davis. Got to meet him when he was at Scotlandville, and it was just a lot of fun. Really good personality. Enjoys the show. You can tell he enjoys what he does, and
keeps the kids up front.
And when I said that earlier, Coach Valdez left a lasting impression down in St. James. No doubt about it. Won a state championship, but again, they don't know how lucky they are that they didn't have to go searching for somebody and hope you get the right fit. They had the right fit on staff.
And that'd be interesting to ask Coach Valdez, does it make it easier for you to accept a job like he did when you know those kids aren't going to be left?
Probably so.
Interesting. De La Salle with a big win tonight over East Ascension. East Ascension is, really grinding. They played a tough schedule. They're 1-4 pre-district. But they've been competitive in most all their games.
Yeah, look, if you look at that crazy, the non-district schedule and think maybe you come out of that thing 1-4, 2-3, who knows what realistically could have come of that. You get a nice road win, really nice road win against West Monroe, and for the first time in I don't know how many years, you play your district rival to open district play, not to close out the year. So
I like playing them in the middle of the year personally, instead of, especially when you're a really good team like Catholic High and Zachary's going to play week 10. You got to be very careful. First off, that's going to be a very physical game. We know that. Emotions are going to be high. And then you come out off of that into a playoff team if you're a really high seed and you're playing a low seed and you kind of have that game. Yeah. It's a letdown game. It turns into a trap game. I think East Ascension, I commend Coach Darnell Lee for having the schedule that he's had. But at the same time, it was too tough. You have to have one of those games in there that you know you're going to win, and you got to have at least one of those or two of them that are 50-50 games, and then you take another game or two that you may get beat. But he's taking on everybody. He goes to Zachary. He goes Zachary. He goes to West Monroe. He had Ash. He had De La Salle. Who's the other one?
It was Destrehan.
Destrehan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just too tough. Here they are sitting at 1-4. Hopefully they're fairly healthy and not banged up. They got to win some district games now with the shrinkage of the playoff brackets. They're in a tough spot right now.
Got something to keep an eye on from here to the rest of the season. And I don't know this answer, and I did not I checked out with 14-0 Productions, and they weren't sure. We had Trey Holly over 300 yards tonight with 12 carries. He's already at 868, so he's almost at 1,200 yards halfway through the season. Yeah. Cardell Sermons had 300 yards last night. He's over 1,200 yards halfway through the season. Where I'm going with this is there's going to be multiple players getting over 2,000 yards rushing, and I wonder if that's ever happened in one season.
Yeah, they've had more than one, but Sermons is over 200 yards in every game.
That's when you do the math there, genius.
But I mean,
it's 1,200 yards divided by 5.
You can still have a one or two big games. But, yeah, last night he did have a game. I have his stats right here.
341?
Let's see. Sorry. Yeah. The 22 carries, 311, 4 touchdowns. He's been over 200 yards all 5 games. 115 carries, 1239, and 14 touchdowns now. Holly's he had 12 carries, 310 yards, 5 touchdowns. That was with 4:21 left in the third quarter. You had some big nights all around. Arch Manning, 7 touchdowns.
Broke the school record.
Huntington quarterback Cam Evans, 7 touchdowns, and their win over Minden. Benton, y'all mentioned earlier, with a big win. Gary Walters, 8 touchdown passes. So there's been some big-time numbers put up tonight.
And coming in tonight, Elijah Davis, P.J. Martin, both over 1,000 for the year so far. And on the phone with Jake Martin for the preview show, he said he wouldn't be surprised if Holly went over 10,000 for his career. If he could pick
87 something now? What did you say it was now?
So he's going to be at 1238. So this is compliments at GoPrep.com, huh?
I think he was at 87 something, so he's at 9,000 total. Yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna have a couple playoff games, so 6 or 7 games left at 200. Yeah, he's gonna go over 10,000.
Do they include? That's when they do include the playoffs.
Yes.
Nice. A lot of yards for Sept in the playoffs, I would assume.
You know, Patterson's quarterback, Kalen Davis, had another big night. They played Franklin and won pretty big. And
they also have a receiver putting up big numbers at Patterson. I think he leads the state right now.
Howard Kinchin, 36 receptions, 782 yards. Don't let Howard Kinchin beat you. Then you got Omarion Miller at North Caddo. How about Airline? Huge win over Natchitoches Central. Like 49-0, but Daxton Chavez is number 3 in the state, and that's why I bring them up. I just, they've just been really impressive. Parkway beat Captain Shreve tonight, which was a little surprising.
That was a huge win. Let's go back to this Benton. Benton's 1-3 playing 4-0 Bird. You think Bird is an easy win. Benton wins 63-28. Their last 3 games, they were 0-3.
Newman.
They were averaging 48.7 points a game in those 3 losses. Problem was they were giving up 58.3. Another key, when you're giving up 58.3 a game.
You don't win a lot of ball games like that.
The over-under average is 107 a game.
Last week was 2 airline. It was 75 to 59.
They ain't even playing defense.
No, they gave up over 700 yards last week.
This is Benton.
Let's just hope we can keep it
and
under
now
3 touchdowns.
Bird lost their quarterback tonight, Lake Lambert, who we talked about last week. I think he was like 21-2 as a starter. Bird lost him to an injury. He was carried off on a stretcher, so we hopefully to hear good news on Lake. He's a competitor. He's a winner.
All right, we plan to talk with our Victoria's head coach of our walk-ons game of the week when we get back.
We're not holding our breath, Cade.
A scoreboard check, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Catholic High Baton Rouge over Carver of Alabama, 42-36. Catholic Point Capite 36, White Castle 8. De La Salle 20-13 winner over East Ascension. Dutchtown over GW Carver 37-15. St. James 30, Woodlawn of Baton Rouge 27. Episcopal comes back to beat Ascension Catholic 33-28. Santa Maria over Helen Cox 19-7, and Dunham over Southern Lab 28-14.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by peak performance.
St. Thomas More defeats Denham Springs 42-21. Opelousas a 56-20 winner over Leesville. Welsh over Laurelville 20-16. Church Point over Mamou 58-6. Grand Lake over East Beauregard 58-30. Central Catholic shuts out Jeanerette 40-0. Lafayette Christian 49, Avoyelles 28, and Iowa shuts out Kinder 28-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Scotlandville over Rummel 35-34. Edna Carr 40, Brother Martin 7. John Curtis 32, Holy Cross 21. Warren Easton over John Ehret 69-35. East St. John 33, Hanville 24. Bogalusa defeats Chalmette 52-36. St. Charles Catholic 35, Vanderbilt Catholic 7, and Destrehan shuts out H.L. Bourgeois 47-0.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Ruston over Neville 27-21. Mangum over Oak Grove 50-21. Union Parish 49, Franklin Parish 20. North Caddo a point better than West Washita 28-27. Glenbrook over Arcadia 53-20. Benton over Bird 63-28. Airline shuts out Natchitoches Central 46-0. And D'Arbonne Woods Charter 42. River Oaks 25.
The North Shore Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Kentwood defeats Amite 14-6. Covington over Fontainebleau 13-10. Slidell over Mandeville also 13-10. St. Paul 28, Hammond 21. McDonough 35-38. Salmon 27. North Shore 13, Ponchatoula 10. Newman a 52-22 win over Pearl River. And Archbishop Hannon 35, St. Thomas Aquinas 6.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at
Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy, and we jump back on the Cardinal Financial Hotline. That's where we join a victorious coach, Travis Bourgeois, as Episcopal gets a win tonight, comeback fashion, 33-28 over Ascension Catholic. It is our walk-ons game of the week. Congratulations, Coach, and thanks for a couple minutes with us tonight.
Well, I appreciate you guys. What a great high school football game. Two teams just competing, playing their hearts out, back and forth. Came down to the end like we told our kids all week.
Well, you said it'd be a war earlier when I texted you, man. It's going to be a tough one, and it lived up to its billing, right?
Well, without a doubt. I mean, we hadn't seen a passing attack like that. That first half, over the top with an 83-yard and a 62-yard. They really torched our young secondary. Just real pleased at the way we adjusted in the second half. Our sophomores back there in that secondary, they really hit the groove. I told them they became juniors in a hurry, and good thing for that, because that's a really good quarterback back there and some quality receivers as well.
Coach, Jimmy and I always talk about it's tough to simulate the triple option, the midline. Is it just as tough to simulate that type of speed and that type of passing game, and it takes maybe a little bit? You just hope it's not big plays, but it takes a little bit to for your defense to adjust to that?
Well, I would just say in the 2A level especially, because some of you guys that are playing first-string offense, they're also playing defense, so you really don't have that guy that can give them that true look, that you're looking for. You just appreciate your young guys giving the best look possible. But definitely the speed, it took us a half to get used to, but like the accuracy from the quarterback as well. I mean, it wasn't like he was wide open receivers. He was hitting guys on the run and making real accurate throws as an outstanding senior quarterback he is.
Yeah, Bryce Leonard is a real deal. Good dual sport athlete. He's committed to Northwestern State. Him and his brother are both really special kids for Central Catholic. Coach, you mentioned the passing game. You have a quarterback, Lewis Ward, set a school record a couple of weeks ago. You seem to be throwing the football a little more than you have in the past. Is that because of personnel, or are you changing your philosophy a little bit to start throwing it a little more?
Well, I mean, obviously as a coach, you want to be 50-50 as balanced as you can. And this over the years we've been more run oriented, so we've been able to be real fortunate. Lewis Ward, senior quarterback, he has a quick release. He makes great decisions for us. And in fact, tonight was his first interception of the year. But he's in sync with his receivers, and even though they're young sophomores, they believe in him. He's one of those leaders that once he gets in a rhythm, you just ride the hot hand. And he's really had a great start for us in 5 games. But tonight he threw for about 100 yards, so we didn't really need his services. He kind of did things with his feet. He had a big throw at the end where he had to step up into the pocket. But his first touchdown was a running touchdown. He got two touchdowns tonight on the ground for us. But just his senior leadership and what he provides and means to our team, down the distance, he just gives you a chance, especially being able to extend plays. But just real proud of him tonight. We were able to rush for over 300 yards and throw for 100. So tonight we had to lean back on that wing, and it was very beneficial for us tonight.
Coach, Myra Mansour inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure she's the person who hired you as the head coach years and years ago.
I love Myra Mansour, being a young coach. She gave me that first opportunity here at Episcopal 23 years ago. That first season didn't go so well. We went 0-10, but she stuck with me. She believed in me. And surround yourself with good coaches and good people, and you stick to your philosophy, and good things can happen. Just real excited for her tonight to be here on the night she gets inducted to the Episcopal Hall of Fame. And just great to give her a win because she's definitely a winner and a quality lady and a great leader, and I owe a lot to her.
I have to tell you a story. Years and years ago, probably after your first 0-10 year right there at the start, we were talking one night at the Wolves Den. Our son was playing for us at Redemptorist, and we was outside after the game, and y'all were going through some tough times, and she was talking to us as coaches. Does she keep you or let you go? And at the time we asked her, well, is he doing things the right way? And she said he's doing everything the right way. We're just not very good yet. So we asked her, do you believe in him? She said, absolutely, I believe in him. Well, you just answered your question, and the rest is history. 23 years later, you've become one of the most successful coaches in the Baton Rouge area.
We may have been hydrating, too. I don't know.
That might have been before you were there.
It was 2004.
Hey, Coach, Ascension Catholic, got up early with a couple of quick scores, some big plays, but I go back to that early drive you guys had. Did they ever give you an explanation? It seemed like you guys were just about to punch it in. Maybe that would have changed the course of things and how that first half would have gone. Looked like you guys were about to punch it in, maybe get that first down. Did you ever get an explanation there?
It was definitely a momentum swing for us, no doubt about it. We looked like we pushed the pile and had forward progress, but it was a judgment call, and it's one of them things that we challenge our kids that we're going to face adversity this week. Scoreboard, just any situation, and you just got to move on and live for that next play. And we didn't give up points that drive and punt. So it's a game that you want, and you're very happy you had a win, but your team faced so much adversity, and they had to grow up tonight. And like I said, we're very fortunate. No high school play game on both teams. Yeah, both teams made mistakes, there's no doubt, but for week 5, it's very entertaining, and like I said, it's 2 teams competing their tails off, and very fortunate to get a win tonight.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here on the show. Congratulations on this win, and we look forward to talking with you down the road.
I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
He's done a hell of a job over there.
I just can't. It's just year after year. I mean, and he said, go back to a couple of weeks ago, Coach Fowler said, he kept saying, surround yourself with good people, surround yourself with good people. And Travis has done that as well. And, they're a really good football team. And, and look, Ascension Catholic has played back-to-back brutal games.
They stepped their schedule up.
and they will be better for it.
Absolutely.
Also, got a chance to see they're honoring their coach Williams. They got the logo on the field. You saw on top of the play clocks, the JW. That was on the center of the field, and there was kind of a special moment before the game for him. So something they're
Jimmy
keeping in
Williams,
mind.
who passed away earlier this year.
Our student athlete of the week, State Farm student athlete of the week, comes to us from Ascension Catholic, and that is Bulldog Mason Pierce. Jimmy?
Mason Pierce from Ascension Catholic, 3.9 GPA, 29 on his ACT. Dual sport athlete, plays wide receiver in football, also plays basketball. He plans to go to Tulane to study architecture. So, bright student, good young man. Want to congratulate him as our State Farm Student Athlete of the Week. Want to thank Byron Gill, Mitch Mueller, Brian Moe, and Drew Dillio, as always, for sponsoring that. We do 2 of those a week, one on Sunday night at Walk-On. So, proud to honor those type of kids.
Yeah, State Farm in the community and proud to honor those young men each and every week, doing well, not just on the field, but as Jimmy mentioned, in the classroom too. We'll take a timeout and we'll go up to Ruston when we come back. This is the Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Mom, what's for breakfast? Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Gade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy as we wind down Hour 1 tonight. Thanks so much to Coach Levante Davis, Coach Travis Bourgeois for joining us so far this evening, and everyone tuning in. If you missed the score tonight, full scoreboard, if you're watching on YourView and the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, it's that ticker on the bottom of the screen. You'll get every score around the state, final score there, and we'll highlight a couple of them throughout the night in our regional scoreboard recap. But let's go back to the Cardinal Financial Hotline. We join another victorious head coach tonight, Ruston's Jared Baugh, getting the win over Neville. Coach, congratulations on this win. Thanks for spending a couple minutes with us here on Prep Scoreboard.
Appreciate it, guys.
Coach, typical Ruston Neville game, it sounds like, keeping up with it on Twitter.
Yeah, these past few years, it's come down to the wire who's who's got the ball last. And, of course, we definitely were trying to avoid that, but knew it was going to be a battle. They're a good football team, and, they scratched and clawed, and so did our guys. And I'm proud of our guys for finding a way to win.
Coach, late, your tailback, Dyson Fields, thank you, got hurt. Is he okay? You don't have to get any explanation if you don't want. I just wanted to make sure he was okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. He took a shot in the knee, and we're going to get him checked out tomorrow. But he was up walking around this evening after the game, and I think he's going to be fine. Had a doctor on the sideline that checked him out, and think everything's going to be okay. But we'll get him to the hospital tomorrow just to get some pictures of it, just to make sure. But I think he's going to be just fine.
Coach, we know you love to run power, you love to run counter, those type things. But tonight your passing game came up big. Have you made a concentrated effort to really get better in the offseason in the passing game? Because I've seen y'all have hit more big plays passing this year than in the past.
We have, and one of the things is you put two tight ends and two backs in the game, and people pile up on the run. But what it does is it sets you up with the receiver that you have in the game where you're going to get one-on-one coverage. And Aaron Jackson was able to make some plays in the throwing game. I thought Jaden Osborne did a really good job getting the ball to him whenever we needed to. And those two work well together. And, we do whatever we got to do to win ball games. I don't necessarily like to run it more than I throw it. I know it seems that way. And if we feel like in the game plan that, somebody's just not wanting to deal with the running game, then we sure don't mind trying to run it 50 or 60 times in a ball game. But if they allow us to get one-on-one coverage on Aaron Jackson, then we're going to take some throws. And we made some good throws, and he made a couple good catches. So it worked out well.
Coach, all right, through 5 games, we all think you're nuts for how you scheduled it. But, you ended up I think you would be proud of where you've ended up. Are you that way health-wise as well as record-wise?
We're kind of banged up, which, after playing 5 ball games like that against the quality of teams that we've played, I think you'd expect that. But, it's mostly just the normal bumps and bruises. And I think Dyson's going to get good news tomorrow as far as that's concerned, especially as well as he was moving around after the ball game. And so I feel really good about where we are up to this point. We're an overtime away from being 5-0 during that stretch. And, I think that says a lot for our kids accepting the challenge that I set up for them, and they've handled that well.
Coach, you have a pretty good-looking group of linebackers also.
We do. I would, of course, I'm partial to mine, but
you should be.
I would match those two up against any in the state as far as how good they are, and they're only going to get better. One's a sophomore, and one's a junior, and I think the upside on those guys is really good. They're smart football players, and the thing about those guys is they're playing behind a defensive front that soaks up blocks, and so they're able to run and tackle the guy with the ball, and they make some plays. Both of them have interception returns for touchdowns this year. So, it's not just running and tackling. They're athletic enough that they can make some plays too. And so, I'm proud to have them.
You know what, Coach, and you just mentioned something, and I think that those linebackers recognize, but a lot of fans need to recognize, is your defensive line, because those defensive linemen are there to occupy blockers, to allow those athletes to make plays. It's kind of a selfless position, and to have some good defensive linemen are really kind of the unsung heroes for those good linebackers, right?
Yeah, they sure are. And, and those guys up front, that they make their share of plays, especially, their numbers are pretty good considering their defensive linemen. And like you said, a lot of times they don't get the stats, and they're soaking up blocks for those guys behind them. But it's a good group up front and a good group behind them. And, and I think that, that only helps our secondary out in passing situations, because they do a really good job getting pass rushes, and allows those guys or makes the offense have to get the ball out of their hand in a hurry or before they're ready to get it out of their hand. And, it just all kind of works together. And I think those guys have played through these 5 ball games against the teams that we've played. They've done a really good job defensively.
And look, Todd, from everything I've read, Neville and Ruston are both, regardless of what happens this year, obviously state championship is their goals, but both of these teams are on the upswing, got good mix of youth in there also. Coach, unfortunate deal happened tonight. Don't want to be negative about it, but your wide receiver was ejected for excessive celebration, is what we're reading. What was it explained to you on
it? He high-fived a couple of guys that were in the end zone after the play,
right?
And that was his second unsportsmanlike. He and the defensive back had gotten tied up earlier in the ball game. He was stalk blocking out there on the guy, and they thought it was a little bit too much. I thought he was just out there doing a good job blocking, but difference of opinion. And so that was the first unsportsmanlike that he got, and then got the second one after he scored a touchdown. And like I say, he high-fived some guys in the end zone. So, I'll try to go back and look at it on video and see if I can see exactly what excessive celebration looks like.
Well, yeah, if you're giving high five, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, go ahead, Coach.
A tight ball game like that, and you make a big play, made a really good catch, and hell, the kid's excited, and I like for him to be excited about making good plays, and so like I say, I'll try to figure out what went wrong and try to coach that as best I can, and hopefully we can stop that from happening in the future.
Coach, I've always said it's a shame, because I think the toughest penalty that offensive guys get is when a guy's out there busting his butt, stalk blocking the right way. And a lot of times the officials don't see until the second or the latter part of the play, and they just assume, and then they throw a flag. And it's tough for those receivers, because they're doing what you ask them to do. But, that's probably our soapbox we can get on at a different time. Coach.
Dyson Field, Dyson.
Yeah.
Dyson
we could have an hour and a half conversation about that if you wanted to.
Well, from what I was told also is Dyson was ejected in the Warren Easton game for his second unsportsmanlike, and it was because the explanation I heard was the official said the other kid was talking, so he assumed Dyson was talking to him. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, the explanation I guess that I got was that he must have said something to him because the other kid pushed him.
Right.
And so
must have said, didn't even hear him and threw the flag.
Well, congratulations on your win tonight, Coach. We'll move on from that.
It's been a learning experience for all of us, and we're trying the best way to filter all of that stuff out and find out how we can keep all our guys in the game. And this will be no different. We'll take that and I'm just pleased that our guys did whatever they needed to do in order to find a way to win the ball game. That's 4 games in a row for us that we've had to do something offensively, defensively, or in special teams at the end of the game to try to hold on to a lead or try to take the lead. And, our kids have executed, and so that's been really good to see.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate it, and good luck the rest of the way.
Guys, I appreciate y'all.
All right.
Thanks so much to Coach Jared Ball from Ruston and all the coaches who joined us this hour. We'll take a timeout, and when we get back, more score updates, more conversations with coaches. We'll look at some of the regions and break down some of the top performances in Week 5 of the prep football season. No high fives here. Heading the break. This is the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening. It is week 5 in the prep football season. We're wrapping things up. Big win for Sam Houston tonight. We'll talk to their head coach in about 15 minutes. We'll look at some of our regions and some of the top performers and big-time results from tonight's action. But first, we'll get you caught up on scores from around the state, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Catholic Baton Rouge 42, Carver, Alabama 36, Catholic Point Competed 36, White Castle 8, De La Salle 2013 win over East Ascension, Dutchtown win over GW Carver 37-15, St. James 3 points better than Woodlawn 30-27, Episcopal comes back to beat Ascension Catholic 33-28. Santa Maria 19-7 winner over Helen Cox, and Dunham 28, Southern Lab 14.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
St. Thomas More over Denham Springs 42-21, Opelousas 56, Leesville 20, Welsh is a 2016 winner over Lauraville, Church Point all over Mamou 58-6, Grand Lake 58, East Beauregard 30, Central Catholic shuts out Jeanerette 40-0, Lafayette Christian 49, Avoyles 28, and Iowa shuts out Kinder 28-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Scotlandville a point better than Rummel 35-34, Edna Carr 40, Brother Martin 7, John Curtis 32, Holy Cross 21, Warren Easton 69, John Ehret 35, East St. John 33, Hanville 24, Bogalusa 52-36 winner over Chalmette, St. Charles 35, Vanderbilt Catholic 7, and Destrehan shuts out H.L. Bourgeois 47-0.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Ruston over Neville 27-21, Mangum over Oak Grove 50-21, Union Parish 49, Franklin Parish 20, North Caddo a point better than West Washita 28-27, Glenbrook 53, Arcadia 20, Benton 63, Bird 28, Airline blanks Natchitoches Central 46-0, and D'Arbonne Woods Chartered 42, River Oaks 25.
The North Shore Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Kentwood over Amy 14-6, Covington over Fontainebleau 13-10, Slidell defeats Mandeville 13-10, St. Paul 28, Hammond 21, McDonough 35-38, Salmon 27, North Shore 13, Ponchatoula 10, Newman all over Pearl River 52-22, and Hannon 35, St. Thomas Aquinas 6.
Thank you, Skip. Behind the scenes, everything gets done with Skip, with Ryan, with Taylor, making things happen tonight and each and every week. We appreciate our team, and we appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. You can follow the show at Louisiana Prep on Twitter. Week 5 started last night. A lot of games on Thursday. A lot of games on Thursday this year, and I'm assuming, officials and arranging and getting everybody in. We're seeing quite a bit more games on Thursday. Dunham gets a win over Southern Lab. That's a nice one.
That's two good wins in a row for Dunham over Southern Lab this week, 28-14, and then beating Ascension Catholic last week. Dunham jumped out to a 21-0 lead. Just a little too much for Lab to overcome. Lab did close at 21-14, had a chance but couldn't capitalize. Dunham was able to put together an 8-play, 4-minute drive to seal the win. Successful run game by Dunham. Had a lot of success with the quarterback runs, 19 carries for 75 yards for Jackson House. Colin Bolt had 2 rushing touchdowns. They also had a 15-play drive running the football. So that's a good win. They're playing really, really well right now. Washita Playing Washita Christian last night. I think it's the first time those two schools have met us. A big step up for Washita Christian going to a 1A to a 5A. 48-28, Washita pulls that one out. Again, the story of that game was Cardale Sermons. 22 carries, 311 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's been over 200 yards in all 5 games, up to 1,239 yards. Coach Garvin said after the game they're trying to find their identity.
I saw that.
I think
I know what it is.
your identity is to find out how many different ways you can get Cardale Sermons to football.
Yeah.
I mean, that identity is not that hard to figure out. Amy beat Kentwood last night, tied 14-6.
Kentwood was undefeated. Amy's only loss coming to Hammond.
Week 1, yeah. Kentwood has played all teams. All their games have been in classifications higher than them. Slidell with a 13-10 win over Mandeville. Slidell was able to put together a 64-yard drive and score with 3:47. North Shore beat Ponchatoula 13-10. This game here got crazy at the end. North Shore's defensive back, running back, Cohen Robotham. Hope I said that right. He's a junior. He's the big basketball player, the top basketball player in the state. He had a couple big plays to seal the game. He had an interception. After that, North Shore was stopped. Rosenbaum fakes a punt. Looked like to be a hideout. Completes the pass. It goes down to like the 20-yard line. It's called back. They're going to punt again now on 4th and 14. It's a high snap. It looks like the defense turns and runs to set up the return, and he notices it and takes off on his own. It wasn't a called play. And he converts it, gets a 25-yard gain on 4th and 14 on back-to-back fake punts.
What would you what would you tell you that dude if he was your playing 4th and 14 and he just what would you say?
If he got it or if he didn't get it? That'd be 2 different stories with 2 different conversations we'd have, Coach. But after that, North Shore was able to hold on to the football and run the clock out.
Look, speaking of North Shore, the scores, there was 13-10 was in favor of the visitors was a big score. Covington over Fountain Blue, Slidell over Mandeville, North Shore over Ponchatoula, all 13-10.
Covington just had a running back. We saw the Calvary quarterback transfer last week to Loyola. Covington has a running back. One of their starters this week just transferred schools also.
Where'd he go?
Ooh. Lakeshore or Fountain Blue maybe. I don't remember where it was, but anyway, yeah, crazy.
Hey, Kate, I want to give a shout-out again to Clint McAllister over in Hammond. He was keeping us up to date on the St. Paul's Hammond game. St. Paul's won that 28-21. Very competitive. Hammond hadn't beat St. Paul since 2004. Also down in the Bayou area, we got David Clinton, who checks out Centerville, but keeps us abreast of the Franklins, the Pattersons, the Berwicks, and all that. But Centerville 8 of 9 for 260 yards throwing, 4 touchdowns. They're victorious over Ascension Christian and North Central. We talked about it on the radio beforehand. They've now won 3 in a row after losing 30-something.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
And Zachary goes up to North Mississippi, almost to Memphis, comes back with a 49-14 win over Winona. And
I don't know,
also
but
playing
right.
with Eli Holstein out, and their backup quarterback Spangler evidently had a good night for Zachary. It's important to get some playing time under his belt. So good win for Zachary. I know it's going to be a long bus ride back for those guys. Squirrel Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Squirrel
Buckeye and Grant.
Yeah.
Squirrel Bowl. I think that was last night.
Yeah.
Get a final score on that one.
Kennedy over Live Oak, 37-27.
Yep.
Kennedy's 4-1, only lost to Santa Monica.
Well, Pearl River lost tonight to Newman, 52-22. That was their first loss. They're also 4-1. But Arch Manning, as you mentioned, he had 7 touchdowns, set a record for Newman. And these people that are so quick to get on social media and critique the poor kid. I mean, what you got to do? I mean,
how many games has he thrown at least 3 touchdown passes this year? It's incredible. Yeah, you hear students and you see the noise on social media. I mean,
these are adults saying it.
The kid's phenomenal.
It's an adult that couldn't probably complete a flag football pass. I don't know.
They're mad and jealous because he's not going to LSU. Period. I mean, that's just the way.
You're right. That's a shame of it.
I mean, when you get down to it,
call the ambulance.
That's what it's about. Well, go back up to North Louisiana, Todd. You mentioned the Captain Shreve Parkway game. Parkway 4-0 coming in. Captain Street 3-1. I would have picked Captain Street just based off of who they played, but Parkway, Coy Brotherton has done a really good job. They have a kicker. There's 3 kickers up in that area, honestly. Captain Street has one area. Burrell, he's supposedly rated the top kicker in the country. He's got 2 field goals over 50 yards. He had 52 yards.
The Parkway guy?
The Parkway guy got one 52 yards a couple weeks ago. He had one 50 yards last week in the Brotherton Bowl against Houghton, where it was a walk-off win. 25 of 26 kickoffs for touchbacks. 2 of those kickoffs have come from the 25-yard line. He's got a range out to 65. He's only a junior. So, and then Bird also has one, Adam Murray, who's a junior, who has field goals of 46 and 49 up there, and he's a Miami commit. When you have kickers like that in high school, they are a huge weapon.
Hold up. Mangum beat Oak Grove 50-21. I had it the other way around.
Mangum won. Mangum beat Oak Grove, yeah.
That dude Williams, Jalen Williams or whatever, must have gone off. That's crazy because you think about Sterlington, Oak Grove, and Mangum, how they've just kind of.
I don't know how many yards he had. He had 972 coming in, 15 touchdowns. I did see one highlight run of him tonight that was phenomenal.
I heard the stats out of Mangum have him total yardage 794 yards, 18 touchdowns. We fell for it, eh? But
he did have 400 and something total yards last week. But at first they made it sound like he had 600 and something rushing, but come to find out the 400 and something was total. Kick returns, punt returns, receiving, rushing, all of them.
I had somebody text me earlier, sorry, JB, told me Kinder Discovery was good. Well, they may be, but they weren't going to get any worse than what they were. You know, St. Martin's Episcopal 49-8 over the Willow School, formerly Lusher Charter. I don't even know who Lusher is. He's obviously a general. Winfield 23, Bunkie 14. Your boys. Bunkie's not very good. Jonesboro Hodge wins their second last night, 20-10 over Pineville.
Opelousas keeps rolling. Big win over Wampus Cats.
They did over Leesville, yeah. Leesville's strength of schedule, I don't think, was very good. But Opelousas has improved. They say their quarterback, he's a young kid, is going to be one of the better athletes to ever come out of Opelousas High School.
A lot of good football tonight.
Cali High, we hadn't talked about them. 42-36 win over Carver, Alabama. Carver had a couple out of the Montgomery area. Had a couple of defensive linemen that are both 5 stars. Coach Semino has his guys playing really well. I think they got a wake-up call in the Jamboree against Dunham. I think they took them light. But here lately they've been playing well. They've been getting better every week. Zach Morris has done a really good job as offensive coordinator, averaging 426 yards a game. They've been very balanced. They're 220 rushing, 206 passing. Last week they ran it down one team's St. Thomas More's throat. Barry Remy had a huge night. Remo had a huge night last week. Shelton Sampson may have a huge night one night. Daniel Harden, the other receiver, may have a big night the other night. So Coach Morris has really done a good job as OC mixing it up different week.
So y'all were going to try to let this slide by, and I just saw it. Cecilia over Notre Dame, 25-24.
Okay, I did not have a final. That's back-to-back losses.
Yep.
Yeah, and look, that one last week was rough for Notre Dame. They had 3 turnovers last week in the first quarter against Turtles. You don't usually see a Louis Cook coach team make that many mistakes. And Dennis Gaines' team's over at Cecilia. They've got a pretty good team. They got a young sophomore quarterback, Solori Diesel. What about that name? He went out last week in the second quarter. I don't even know if he played tonight.
Solori Diesel?
Yeah, I wonder if he played tonight. He went out in the second quarter and didn't return. Their offensive line's almost all sophomores. So.
We're going to show this run from that boy from Mangum after we get back.
Oh, you got it?
Oh, do I?
It's a pretty one.
You know, that's my area of the state, you know. They know me up there.
That
golly.
All I can say, he's got a good running back coach. I'm sure he taught him everything.
Oh, he might have dropped the ball early. It's like that looked like Coach Brewerton back in the day.
We'll take a timeout. When we get back, more scores, more coaches.
Chad
In fact,
Davis.
Look forward to a conversation with Coach Davis from Sam Houston. When we get back, it's the Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in your view.
Mom, what's for breakfast? Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. We'll get you caught up on scores here in just a bit. Let's jump back on the Cardinal Financial Hotline, and we join a victorious head coach, Chad Davis, from over in Sam Houston. Good to connect with you, Coach. Congratulations on your win tonight.
Appreciate it.
What's going on, man? You got them turned around over there.
Yeah, we got them turned around a little bit. How y'all doing?
Doing great. Coach, talk about turnaround. Start the year 0-2, you averaged 8.5 in those two losses, and then the last two wins, not counting tonight, you averaged 52.5. and then score 31 tonight. What's the change in the offense about?
We started the year off. We've got 7 sophomores that are starting on offense. And, we went over week 1 to Manny. And, tough game for us, but our kids got to mature quite a bit. And basically, they built some confidence, and they've really taken off the last 3 weeks.
You didn't know how to stop the wing T, bro? That's all you played in high school?
Hey, man, that's all I played in high school, but I wasn't on the defensive side, baby.
That's right. Talk about during this time, you talked about those 7 sophomores a little bit. Who else has been big for you? This is your second year, right?
Yes, this is my second year as a head coach.
And so talk a little bit about, how things have materialized over those 2 years. You had a tough year last year with battling all the, the craziness still from the hurricanes.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that, and also some of the players other than those sophomores that have really helped you turn this or get you on a 3-game winning streak. How about that?
Yeah, last year was really tough. First year as a head coach, we were coming off the hurricane. We missed the whole season, and last year, when you miss a season, it's hard to keep up with the speed of the game. And we ended up having quite a few injuries last year that weren't replaceable kids, So we ended up we had all these sophomores that are playing now played last year as freshmen. So they got to mature a little bit. They got a little varsity experience last year. It was a tough year. We went 2-7. But, on the defensive side of the ball for us, we've got 7 seniors on the other side, and that's 7 guys that have really bonded, and, man, they're playing some physical football on that side.
Chad, what is the situation like over there as far as the facilities and things? How much damage did you have? How much back to normal are you? And how many kids did the school lose?
We didn't lose any kids. Everybody, once the town kind of came back, everybody came back home. We did have a few kids that ended up playing, their senior season that hurricane year at other schools because we did only play a JV season that year. But we are back. Everything, our facilities are all back 100%. The school's back. Everything's good to go, man.
That's great to hear.
You know who coaches – I think I hadn't talked to him about it in a while, but you know who coaches middle school for him?
Coach Lance.
Yeah.
Coach Lance Steffens.
That's Todd's, that's Todd's nephew.
He texted me just now. He was watching it on his back patio on a big screen.
Hey, he got a start up here, didn't he?
That's it.
No, did Lance work it? No, that Lance didn't work it.
No.
That was your neighbor.
Oh, yeah. So, so Chad played for me at St. Michael and then went on to McNeese.
Yes, sir.
And, I guess I've kind of hung out over there ever since and doing a great job, man. I knew that you just have to be patient, right? You got to learn your kids. You got to do what's best for them. You got to find the right fit, not just on the field, but also with your coaching staff. And I'm glad it's worked out and you've got things turned around. I say that just tongue in cheek, we know it's a long season, but you're going in the right direction. How about that?
Absolutely.
And another thing, I don't think people realize how bad that area was hit because I went over there after they had back-to-back hurricanes, and I went over there at Rodney Beloso with Hot Rod's Creole season. We cooked for like 1,200 people, I think it was. Kevin Fayard from John Curtis went, and we cooked over there. And the damage was so massive, and to have that year off, I don't think people really realize it's almost like last year was starting from scratch.
That's really how it was. I mean, you got to understand we had kids. I have some kids right now that are still not back in their homes. Their houses are still being fixed. It took almost 10.5 months for my house to get fixed. So I got a family of 5 living in an apartment with 2 bedrooms. So that was a tough year, man. But coming back, it was basically we had to teach football all over again.
Yep.
We got on the field for varsity football, and you yell for punt, and all the kids are kind of looking at you like, Coach, we supposed to be on the field? Yeah, you're supposed to be on the field. So it was a lot of learning last year. We weren't the only school going through that. Every school over here did it. And congrats to those coaches and those teams that had good seasons last year. We were not one of them.
Well, and football gets those kids in the right spot where they need to be off the street and back doing something productive because I know, you get bored at home and they need football. And it was great that y'all have the whole area. Barb's got their group back. You guys are back. Sulphur, who you beat tonight, we know Chris Towery real well. That was a tough game for him. But, congratulations, man, and we're glad that you took a few minutes to hang out with us and talk a little ball.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I appreciate y'all even reaching out.
Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you all.
All right, thank you much.
All right.
Guys, you look inside District 3-5A, a pretty big district when it comes to the allotment of teams. And Acadiana certainly is always going to be a team that's top of mind, but you got a district with Southside in it. You got Karen Crow, Sam Houston now putting themselves in that mix, getting hot at a good time, at a good point in the season, seem to be kind of catching their groove.
And Southside's on a roll. They moved to 4-1 with a 30-7 win over Barb. Coach Josh Fontenot's the head coach, is the only coach that Southside has had. Obviously, it's a fairly new school, but they went from the spread offense to the double slot option type offense that Parkview runs, something like that. And then they also changed their defense to more of an attacking style. He said they were asking their defensive front to take on blocks and clog holes and stuff like that. And he said we just weren't big enough to do it.
Yep.
So we had to change our thinking, and it's a more of attacking type defense, sending pressure from everywhere. But they lost to Notre Dame week 1, 21-13. But the biggest thing was they've had a few weeks in a row now with no turnovers. I think they turned it over 5 times in that loss to Notre Dame. So they're doing a good job.
Jimmy, what's tough, and I've gone through it, and it's when you go through a tough season, you second guess yourself, and Chad, for it to be the first year head coach at Sam Houston, goes 2-7. You're sitting there going, well, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Am I doing the right thing? And then you start off this year and you're struggling, and then you see things start to materialize. And it takes a lot of willpower and a lot of good people to be able to say, hey, no, we're doing the right things. And so hats off to those guys.
And again, I don't think it's like starting from scratch. Just like I said, you take a Liberty High School. They're in their second year. Anytime Southside a couple years ago, when you first start playing varsity football, you're going to struggle in most cases.
Except if
and
you're
in Liberty's case, now you're up to 5A.
Now,
and you're playing in a pretty tough district.
If you're 5A right off the bat, and then boom, baseball, basketball, you can overcome it. But football is a very difficult sport, and I don't think people, unless you went down there, you didn't see the damage they had on TV or anything like that. It was just brutal.
Boy, those got people in Fort Myers, man. I feel for them. That was something.
Well, we'll take a timeout, and we will continue looking at some of the regions in this area.
De La Salle coached for the first time. We'll have him on. Graham Jarrett. They were a 2013 winner over East Ascension. He's done a phenomenal job with the Cavaliers.
And keeping the Cavs rolling, and we'll look forward to that conversation when we get back, as well as a look at our scores here on the Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and your view.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
In just a minute, we're going to be joined by De La Salle head football coach Graham Jarrett. But first, Jimmy Roy with an update on Westside.
Oh, Westside Rolls moved to 5-0 with a win over Texas High, 71-20. Texas High falls to 4-1.
Coach Josh got an early week next week. Maybe joining us, I heard, in studio. Is that possible?
It's possible.
Goodness gracious. Get an extra pizza.
Well, I don't know if it's homecoming or what. They were tied tonight 10-10. What was the final?
I think Cincinnati stole
71-20.
Cincinnati must have stole his idea of the white uniforms and the whiteout last night. So let's go ahead and jump back on the phone lines, the Cardinal Financial Hotline. And we are joined by a victorious head coach from De La Salle High School, Coach Graham Jarrett, as they get the win tonight over EA. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks so much for joining us here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It was a tough, hard-fought win. East Ascension's a great team, and that was a great environment, going on the road, playing a team of that caliber.
Coach, you played a tough team last week in St. Charles also, so you played a very competitive schedule.
In St. Paul's the week before that?
Yeah.
Well, if you take a look at our district schedule, not to criticize our district, but our district schedule is not as tough as our pre-district. And so, we're just trying to get our kids ready. We're trying to put them in those kind of environments, put them in those games where they have to, beat a tough team on the road. And so I'm very proud of our kids. We had an unbelievable pre-district schedule, and we were able to go 5-0 through the district schedule. So I could not be more proud of our kids.
Coach, what kind of night did P.J. Martin have?
Well, P.J. Martin had a great night. I'll be honest, this is the first night where he hasn't just, had huge runs left and right. Like, I thought East Ascension did a great job stopping us and loading the box up. But P.J. was able to find, some room, and he had a big run in the fourth quarter to really seal the deal. I think it might have been late third quarter, early fourth that really sealed the deal. But credit to East Ascension. They stopped us running the ball better than anybody has done so far.
Coach, usually with a good got a guy that's a good rusher like that, you have also a good offensive line. Talk a little bit about those guys that are opening the holes for PJ.
Well, listen, the offensive line is special. I've been doing this 19 years. I've been an offensive line coach or an offensive coordinator for 19 years. I don't think I've ever had a situation where I've had 5 senior offensive linemen, 4 of which are returning starters, a senior tight end, and a senior running back that's that special. So it's just a magical, mix to where you have a great senior offensive line with a great senior running back. But they've been great. Last year was my first year here as head coach, and they were all juniors. Coming off a good year there. And I think we've kind of grown together. And this year, teams know we're going to run the ball. They know what plays we're going to run the ball, and they still can't stop us. And that's a credit to them. So it's not just the offensive line, but they're awesome, as well as the tight end and the fullback who do a great job. And then PJ, those 4 or 5 yard runs in the first half turn into 20 and 40 yard runs in the second half. He just keeps churning it away.
So tell us about Caden Jones.
Caden Jones is he's a humongous human being. I've never had to stare straight up at a kid. I'm not the tallest man ever, but in my coaching career, I've never had to look straight up at a player. And so that feels weird. I mean, he's every bit of 6'8", 310. Last year, he's kind of growing into his position, growing into his body because he grew so fast. This year, he's really dominated. And not only that, but the leadership. Like he's making calls on the other side of the line. His leadership skills have been tremendous. And this is what I've told every college coach, is that his upside is just off the charts because he's just going to get better and better as an offensive lineman the longer he plays at that position. His improvement from last year, my first year with him as a junior, this year as a senior, has been awesome. And so I just think it's only going to get better as he gets into college and continues to improve.
Coach, no matter how many times we tell that offensive line to communicate, talk. So often they don't. When they have someone that will communicate and start the ball rolling, it makes all the difference in the world just with, making their assignments, if anything, and some kids just won't talk, but to have one like that that's big, that talks, that leads, he's about the big package.
Really all. I mean, listen, Caden gets all the praise because he's a giant. He's 6'8", 310. But there's a couple other linemen that are just as quality. They're just not 6'8". Hunter Karakowski, the left guard. If you watch our film, he literally tries to kill someone every time he pulls. I mean, he's trying to finish people every time he pulls. You have Justin Howard, the right tackle, who's 6'3", 285, but runs like a cat. And then our center, little Mighty Mouse, he's only 195 pounds, Josh Thornton. All 4 of those guys are 3-year starters. So, like I said at the beginning, it's a special thing when you have that much experience up front with that kind of quality. I mean, I think Hunter Karakowski is going to be playing college football. Justin Howard's going to be playing college football. So to have 3 college offensive linemen that have all started for 3 straight years with a senior running back, I mean, as an O-line coach, as a run guy, you can't ask for more.
Coach, I'm going to have to guess. If I was to prepare to play you, I would have to stop the power. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to find something. I'm going to find something. You show me what your crease is, and I'm going to find something. But I do, as an O-line guy who likes tight ends and fullbacks, I do like down kick. So somebody's blocking down and somebody's kicking somebody out. I know that.
You mentioned a fullback and a tight end. You don't see a fullback. Are you in the I formation?
We're not. We are in the spread. So, we'll have a running back in pistol, and then we'll have a running back maybe next to the quarterback, or we'll just have the 2 tight ends on the field, tight end and a fullback. But we find different ways. Like, again, watching film, game planning people, we'll find a crease. We'll find something that we can exploit, and then we'll just continue to hit that with that offensive line.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time tonight. It's been awesome to watch so far this season and to follow De La Salle, so we wish you the best of luck and look forward to talking with you down the road.
Absolutely. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
All right, thanks. Good night.
Good night. Todd, I saw something tonight watching STM in Denham Springs that I haven't seen in a long time.
Quarterback under center?
Yes. And in a huddle. Denham Springs got in a huddle. They got under center. They did I thought Denham Springs did some really, really good things offensively. They were just – the offense for STM was just a little too much for their defense to handle. Denham couldn't get any pressure on them. But, yeah, I thought they were very balanced. They were what I would call a true multiple team, that they could get in 4 wide. They could get in 12 personnel. They could get under center. They called plays in the huddle. Kind of reminded me of football.
No kidding, right? What's going on?
Did Coach Jared say 6'8",
yes,
something?
Yeah, 6'8", 310.
Look, I'm going to give a lot of credit to a talented athlete in P.J. Martin, but, boy, you got an offensive line like that doing their job, that's tough to stop.
Yeah, P.J. Martin coming into tonight's game, 106 carries, 1,019 yards, 9 touchdowns. I know he had one run. I think it was at least 70-something. That might have been the one that came in the fourth quarter.
If y'all remember correctly, I believe De La Salle came and played U-High. Was it? I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. I think it was last year, though.
Mm-hmm.
And they were big then. Yeah. So, look, tonight we've hit each part of the state. We've hit New Orleans. We've hit Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, Ruston, St. James. Did I miss anybody? So far, we've had knocked out this coach.
That's a pretty wide web there.
Haynesville. David Franklin wins his 200th win, gets his 200th win tonight. He joins his father, Red Franklin, only father-son combo in the state to accomplish that.
Well, Hunter Bauer, the owner of GoPreps.com, is excited about that. That's his hometown. Homer, speaking of, a big win also, 66. Did you talk about Westgate? And
77-0. Yeah.
What was it? Who scored 70-something last week? There was a team that scored. In the
that
70s.
was that Airline beat Benton 70-something to 59. Yeah.
Oh, read the stats for. Was it the Benton quarterback?
Benton quarterback tonight, 22 of 31, 516 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
Arch Manning had 7. Huntington quarterback had
Cam
7.
Evans had 7.
This is a year of records.
Oh, it's been crazy. 37 teams entered tonight undefeated. I wanted to see how many survived that. I know you had a bunch lose. So White Castle lost tonight to Catholic of Point Capee. That was a battle of unbeaten. So congratulations to Coach Valor over there. I bet the over and under on passes thrown that game was set at about 4. I mean, they're both running the veer offense. So
I appreciate Wyatt Walker over there. He was giving us some updates on that.
We're gonna have to go to that breakfast. I'm telling you,
I can't get up that early. I'd prefer to do a tailgate at about 12:30. I'd have a better chance going to one at 12:30 than I would at whatever time that is.
You got to get up and put Charlie on. Brock.
One of them
bus.
kids, right?
Yeah, one of them. Antoine Duplantis, got to congratulate him. He was also inducted into the Lafayette Hall of Fame last week. Good friend of the family,
and he ain't even the best athlete in that family.
No, I'm pretty sure they're going to have another Duplantis inducted here shortly.
And they got another one on the way as far as grades, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's one at LSU. Johanna is pole vaulting at LSU right now.
Well,
sister.
Let's get you caught up on scores, and we'll come back and wrap things up. But first, let's get you caught up with the Baton Rouge region and around the state.
The Capital City Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Calicon defeats Carver, Alabama 42-36. Catholic Point Capee 36, White Castle 8. De La Salle over East Ascension 20-13. Dutchtown 37, George Washington Carver 15. St. James at 30-27 win over Woodlawn. Episcopal 33, Ascension Catholic 28. Santa Maria 19, Helen Cox 7. And Dunham 28, Southern Lab 14.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
St. Thomas More 42, Denham Springs 21, Opelousas 56, Leesville 20, Welsh 20, Loreauville 16, Church Point 58, Mamou 6, Grand Lake 58, East Beauregard 30, Central Catholic shuts out Jeanerette 40-0, Lafayette Christian 49, Avoyelles 28, Iowa blanks Kinder 28-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Scotlandville over Rommel 35-34, Edna Carr 40, Brother Martin 7, John Curtis 32, Holy Cross 21, Warren Easton 69, John Errett 35, East St. John 33, Hanville 24, Bogalusa 52, Chalmette 36, St. Charles Catholic 35, Vanderbilt Catholic 7, and Destrehan blanks H.L. Bourgeois 47-0.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Ruston over Neville 27-21, Mangum over Oak Grove 50-21, Union Parish 49, Franklin Parish 20, North Caddo a point better than West Washita 28-27, Glenbrook 53, Arcadia 20, Benton 63, Byrd 28, Airline blanks Natchitoches Central 46-0, and Dearborn Woods Charter 42, River Oaks 25.
The North Shore Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Kentwood over Amite 14-6, Covington over Fontainebleau 13-10, Slidell 13, Mandeville 10, St. Paul 28, Hammond 21, McDonough 35-38, Solomon 27, North Shore 13, Ponchatoula 10, Newman all over Pearl River 52-22, and Archbishop Hannon 35, St. Thomas Aquinas 6.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urchin Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urchin Care and Lake After Hours.
Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Man, that's our old homecoming dance stuff there. Me and Todd back in the day.
I didn't know y'all didn't realize that was a song when I said that.
Couple me and Todd knew what it was. Everybody was looking around like, what?
We like to dive into the Todd and Jimmy playlist every now and then to get some of the classics. As we wrap up week 5, Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Thanks so much to BSN Sports. Not only the best supply and network in sports, they can outfit your team. They outfit us each and every season. But they've got the equipment you need, from the stuff you need on the field to the stuff you wear at practice, in games, and they've got local representation. Scott Nielsen will hook you up and help your team get outfitted with the absolute best names, brands that you know and love. BSN Sports. That's why they're the best supply network in sports.
That's my go-to guy,
Without a doubt. Best ball boy in the state, too.
But that
probably on
Zachary,
the bus.
You know, he's probably
from
responsible for at least 2 or 3 of Zachary's wins over the years. For
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to add up just the care that he takes.
Oh,
in fact,
keeping the balls dry. I mean, he's got it down to an art. So yeah, no doubt he's been worth a couple of wins. We mentioned, Todd, you mentioned Jalen Williams from Mangum had 5 touchdowns tonight. And also, we mentioned a bit in quarterback, but we got to mention Pierce Russell, their receiver, 9 catches, 278 yards, and 4 touchdowns tonight.
So, what are we thinking about Scotlandville? They went up to West Monroe and lost the lead, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Turned back around and beat a very good Rummel team.
And
they get a win from Carr.
They get a win from Carr, and Carr blew them out. Okay, here's the thing: how good is Carr? Carr beat St. Aug last week, 49-7.
They
beat Brother Martin, who's played a super tough schedule. Beat them 40-7 tonight. They
beat
have
the brakes off everybody.
Yes, they have to be scary good. The game against Scotlandville was 40-something to 6 or something like that, and it was like that at halftime. I mean, he was playing his third-string guys. East St. John moves to 5-0 with a 33-24 win over Hahnville. Again, Hammond loses their first one to St. Paul. St. Paul gets their second win of the season, 28-21. St. Aug bounces back from that loss last week to Carr and beats Jesuit tonight, 37-21. Jesuit drops to 1-4. They just don't have the playmakers. Their defense has been fairly solid, but Jace Larson is really their only threat.
I think Grand Lake stays undefeated with a big win last night over East Beauregard. We need to get our guy on.
Yep.
I hadn't had him on in a while. Talking about Carr, I want to touch on something real quick. So what we know is obviously the LHSA did an audit, so these schools have a certain time frame where they have to get their grades in, okay? Last year, if you remember, and that's not to say this won't happen again, but this is what they're trying to avoid. Last year in week 9 and 10, you had a lot of schools get forfeits because of they're getting a little out of whack on summer school, I guess, including that grade in with the current
previous semester or something.
So what they're trying to do is maybe catch it earlier in the season. So Carr is now just 0-3 opposed to possibly 0-9. So, that's what they're trying to do.
Somebody is not going to be happy when they draw Carr in round 1 because I know the power ratings come out tonight for the first time. I don't look at them at all, really.
That's a really good point.
Until
They're gonna be in that.
Until you get Acadiana did the same thing. They went to Ponchatoula years ago at
I think
3 or 4
Zachary,
wins
too.
and won it. They ended up winning the whole thing with about a 500 record. So I mean, Carr looking right now, Carr would be, I think, they're either 24th or 25th. So they're the last one in or the first one out. Now, of course, they're going to win some more games and they're going to be in, but they probably won't have a home game.
Warren Easton, big win over John Ehret. John Curtis winner over Holy Cross.
Yeah. Holy Cross has played some people tough. Their losses have been by 7 points, both of them.
It's been an exciting week 5, lots of good games, and we look forward to continuing the conversation on Sunday night with Louisiana Prep Weekly. Tune in for that, and then next Friday night for another edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. For Ryan and Taylor and Skip, Coach Todd, Jimmy, and our entire crew, I'm Cade Wozniacki, and we will see you next Friday night here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
High five.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a